Yo, what's going on? My name is Mike, and I am the Sports Dope. You can follow me on Twitter at that Sports Dope or Instagram at that Sports Dope. I tried to get this Sports Dope, but somebody made that name about 10 years ago and didn't do shit with it. So now I'm sitting here with my shoulders shrugged. But hey, whatever. Eventually, I'm going to have a podcast and a website and these things, but they are not readily available yet, and I haven't had the time to sit down and do it. And I'm hoping to get that stuff going tomorrow, but we'll see. Hopefully, I'll have a podcast next week. Um, but until then, I'm going to be going through this stuff in YouTube, and I'm going to be posting regular pics on Twitter and Instagram, short videos on Instagram, but I'm going to do a little bit of more long form conversation type of stuff on YouTube. And so that's where we're at. That's where you're watching if you're here. And if you're not, fuck you. But I'm going to run through all the NFL games. I'm going to start with the games I'm not wagering on, but mention a couple things that I'd like to see or, maybe take into account for future wagers. And then I'm going to mention the games that I'm wagering on. And everybody that does this has like a little fucking shtick or whatever. So this is going to be mine. I'm going to do locks and leans. This week I have 2 locks and 2 leans. I'm also going to do sucker bets. I don't have a sucker bet this week. I had one, but when I go into it, you'll see why I don't anymore. And next, I'm going to do who's a good dog. So a underdog that I think could possibly cash this week. And after that, I'm going to do a parlay. Not a parlay, but a teaser. So it's pretty much standard, what everybody fucking does. But, I'm me, and I'm a little bit different, and that's what it is. So, side note, too, had a couple drinks tonight. It's been a long day. 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday, East Coast time. And putting this out tonight. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to do a couple short Instagram videos for kind of recapping all the stuff in a tight little window for each game, right? So, first and foremost, let's, like I said, so my process, I like to sit back and on Mondays or so, kind of just look at the next week's games and then just try and guess what the line is going to be. Kind of think to myself like what it's going to be. And then I'll look at it and I'll say, oh, that was close, or yeah, pretty spot on, or like, whoa, that one's way fucking off. And kind of use that as a benchmark of like where I'm going to start diving into information of making an actual wager for the next week. Right? So, without further ado, like I said, had a couple cocktails, going to keep doing it. So, without further ado, I'm going to jump into some of these games here. First game on the slate is San Francisco at Cincinnati. And I guessed this at San Francisco -3. It started at San Francisco -2.5. If it stayed there, this would have been my sucker bet of the week. But the market immediately adjusted. Immediately. And now Cincinnati is -2. And while I still like them there, and if I had to wager on this one, I would take it, but not going to throw any money on this because it's too tight of a window. Like both teams, like Cincinnati looked really good against a decent team in their home, and San Francisco looked above average, like not great on offense, but kind of lucky on defense. So I'm just going to stay away from this one. Next game up is Minnesota at Green Bay. When I thought of this, I figured Green Bay -3. It opened at Green Bay -3. It is still Green Bay -3. I'm staying away from this because Green Bay looked like complete fucking horse shit. And Minnesota looked fantastic, but I don't trust them long term. I trust Green Bay long term, but because they look like so much horseshit against the Bears that opening Thursday night, I'm just staying away from it. Staying away. Nothing to do with it. I don't want it. Next game I have on the slate is what a fucking trash game this is. It is New England goes to Miami. And for some reason, I looked at my TV to see what was going to be on tomorrow, and it's New England versus Miami. So it looks like I'm watching some shit online. But that's neither here nor there. I guessed it would start at New England minus 17 and a half, and I think it started actually under that. And if it was like 16 and a half, I might consider taking New England just because Miami is completely blatantly obvious about how they fucking just hate playing football and don't want to be there. But it moved to 18 and 19, and I think you'll probably see a 20 sometime tomorrow. But like gun to my head, if this is over 17, I'm taking Miami just because it's so many fucking points. And New England notoriously plays terrible down there. Notoriously. So the next one I got going on is Seattle at Pittsburgh. When I first looked at this, I thought it was going to be a pick because Pittsburgh looked so fucking bad. And Seattle, even though they won, they looked fucking bad too. I don't know how you could win and look very bad. Maybe it's because you play the Bengals and you let them keep it close. That's probably what it is. But I'm staying away from this one still, even though I thought it was going to be a pick, and now Seattle's getting like 4 fucking points. But I'm still staying away. These two teams, it's funny because they're very similar. Like they want to run the ball, and they both can run the ball pretty well. Like Pittsburgh didn't show it, but Seattle showed it. But I think Pittsburgh will be able to show it eventually. And they have like one receiver, and that receiver is somebody who is hiding behind a better receiver for the last couple of years. And they've both convinced themselves that this guy can be the number 1 receiver. And I think they can, but it's yet to be shown because TJ Lockett, he didn't do shit. Like he called one touchdown pass. He called one pass. It happened to be a touchdown pass. But other than that, it was DK Metcalf show in Seattle last week. So I'm going to be watching this game. I'm going to be very interested in it just because of future investments, right? Next game I'm not wagering on at all is Dallas goes to Washington. When I looked at it initially, I thought it was going to be Dallas minus 5.5. Opened at 4.5. Right now it's 5.5. I'm staying the fuck away. Dallas looked great, but they played a fucking JV defense in my Giants, and they were fucking spinning around like a bunch of fucking idiots out there. They had no idea what they were doing. It's like you ever walk through the mall and you see a lost kid and they're just standing there like spinning in circles, like crying for their mom. That was the Giants' entire defense last week. Like it was absolute trash. So I can't really take seriously what Dallas did against them, and also the Redskins looked somewhat competent for a half, and I think they'll be able to show that at home. So I'm staying away from this because the number's pretty fucking big. Next game I have on the list is the Arizona Cardinals. They go to Baltimore, right? And Baltimore looked amazing, but they played not even the JV team. They played like a fucking intermediate school, like a fucking 8th grade team, like Pop Warner shit. Like everybody wants to get out of Miami. I don't trust that at all. What I keep thinking of is last year how the Chargers beat the shit out of them the second time they saw them. And look, Arizona's terrible. They played good football for a quarter, and the Lions played terrible football for a quarter, and they walked out of there with a tie. Numbers way too big. I don't think it's tough to say Baltimore wins by 2 touchdowns. I know it's their home opener. I know that Lamar Jackson's awesome, but gun to my head, I'm actually taking Arizona in this one. But again, not putting any real money on it. Not this one. No, thank you. So the next game on the list that I'm not putting any money on is the Chiefs. They go to Oakland, face the Raiders. I thought it was going to be 8.5. Started out at 7. Went to 7.5. I just don't like it. I don't like going out there. I don't like going to the fucking baseball field, football stadium, and trying to lay a bunch of points. And I also don't like Oakland giving the fucking points, right? They looked somewhat competent last week. I don't know if that was just like a bonding moment of fuck you, Antonio Brown bullshit that they put out there, but I don't trust it. I don't trust Kansas City. I mean, I do trust Kansas City, but it's still a little dicey. Like Tyreek Hill's got hurt, and They'll probably smoke them, but I'm staying away. I'm not putting my hard-earned money on Kansas City. I just don't think it's going to happen. I was very impressed with like the running backs at Oakland. Very happy with Jacobs. He did well, but I don't like it. No, I'm staying away. Staying away. Next one on the list, man. I don't like it, but I kind of like the number here. So we got Chicago going to Denver, right? I thought this was going to be a pick initially because, you know, while both teams look like complete fucking recycled bags of ass, I don't know. I don't like either of these teams. I think Chicago's offense is terrible. I think the Broncos' offense is terrible. I think that this game is going to be like 13-7 or maybe 13-9 or something fucking terribly stupid like that. It's going to be a goddamn bore to watch. I guarantee it. What I might do for this game is I'm going to look for those like alternate underlines. So right now the under is like 41, and I'm going to look for those alternate lines like under 30 where it's like plus 350 or so, and I'm going to jump on that because this is going to be these teams aren't going to fucking score more than 2 touchdowns between them. Terrible offenses and very good defenses. I'm staying away from the points though. I don't care. All right, so the last one up that I got no action on is the Monday night game. The Jets host the Browns. Browns look like garbage. I'm glad. Fuck the Browns. Fuck the Browns hype. They're still the fucking Browns. They got smoked by goddamn Marcus Mariota and Derrick Henry and the Titans. Fuck all of that. I would have probably taken the Jets and some points if Sam Darnold was there because I thought it was going to be a pick, and it came out at Cleveland minus 2.5. And with all these fucking morons out there betting on Cleveland, I would bet that it would have gotten up to 3, and I would have definitely taken that 3. But Sam Darnold's out there in Manhattan kissing all these fucking girls, making out with them. He's got mono and he's out now. Trevor Siemian comes in. Look, at this stage of their careers, I think that Trevor Siemian is probably about the same as Sam Darnold. Maybe even a little bit advanced because he's probably played more fucking snaps. But Sam Darnold's got the brighter future, obviously. If this gets to like 7.5, it's at 7 now. I'm taking 7.5. But nothing yet. So, that's running through all the games I got no fucking interest in. Here we are. I'm going to go through, and I'm going to give you 2 of my leans right now. So, my first lean is the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? So, when I was in the Navy, there was this fucking guy who worked in the engine room, and he was from Ohio. He had these beady little fucking teeth, and he would always ask me if I was going to Brownsville and if I could bring him back some parlay sheets. He was a fucking degenerate, and I loved him. But one thing he told me, well, 2 things he told me. First thing that he told me was, bet with your mind, root with your heart. Smart move. Second thing, the team that plays on Monday loses on Sunday against the spread, right? So Jacksonville's going to Houston. When this line came out, I thought it would be Houston minus 6.5, maybe 7. 8.5. And it went up to 9. Fucking Minshew, that dude, he came out there with the stash energy, and he was slinging the fucking rock. They got a ton of wide receivers. They are all average or slightly above average. They got a bruiser of a running back who's still healthy right now. The Houston defense was fucking terrible. They're going to be exhausted from that fucking game. I love the Jaguars. Plus 9. I'm making them one of my leans this week, and I got some cash on it right now already. So, next one we got going up here. Oh, the other one. Yeah, I didn't change it on my sheet. That was my fault. So, the other lean I got going on here is the Tennessee Titans. So, here's my thought process, right? Like they looked good. They didn't look fantastic. Like, the score didn't tell the whole tale. Like, the Browns were in it till the end. It was close, and then it was a couple touchdowns. Derrick Henry, like, 75-yard reception. It was absolutely insane. But I think Vrabel is a fucking fantastic coach. He's got these guys focused. And while Frank Reich, also a fucking amazing coach for the Colts, and they look good against the Chargers, I think that, when like a team goes through like something traumatic, or like a group of people go through something traumatic, they kind of bond together. I think that was our captain left us effort. Like, we're going to bond behind Jacoby Brissett. Yeah, he can be just as good. No, he's not. It's just he's not that good. He's not going to be that good. Like, he might be decent. He'll lead them to an 8-8 season, and they'll act like it's a fucking win, but they're just going to middle like a bunch of jerk-offs if they stay with Jacoby Brissett, because he's not a fucking quality quarterback. He's an average quarterback, probably below average. But anyway, I'm taking Tennessee in this one. I think it's going to come down to the run game, and while Marlon Mack looked fantastic against the Chargers, I think Derrick Henry looked even better, and I think he's going to get this. And I like Tennessee -3 as another one of my leans. So, let's get into a couple of locks, right? So, first lock of the day, Buffalo Bills. Same stadium, different away game, playing the Giants. The Giants have no fucking defense. The Bills have a phenomenal defense. The Bills will be able to stop whatever mediocre Giant offense there is out there. And their offense will actually be able to score maybe a couple of points against the fucking varsity squad of, Rutherford High School. Give me the Bills all fucking day. I thought this was going to be the Bills -2. It came out as Bills -2.5, and it got down to 1.5. Give me the fucking Bills. I don't care. This is like bullshit fucking wise guy. I love home dogs stuff. I don't want any of that in my life when it's the Giants. My second lock is going to be Philly. As a Giants fan, it pained me to say that the Giants were going to get smoked by the Bills. It pains me even more to say that Philly is a fucking lock this week. I thought this game was going to come out at Philly -3.5, but it came out as a pick'em, and everybody jumped on Philly. Now it's 1.5. I still love them all the way up to 2.5, maybe even -3. Yeah, they looked like trash the first half against Washington, but they found it, and they came back, and they wound up destroying them, and they should have covered that game, but they didn't. Fucking some late backdoor bullshit. I didn't bet on it, but still, fuck all that backdoor shit. They had them locked up. And Atlanta was terrible. They couldn't stop anything. I could have ran for 108 yards and 3 touchdowns against them. I would have pulled an Al Bundy. It was fucking absolutely atrocious to watch that game again. I pulled up that shit on the fucking Game Pass and I watched it. They couldn't tackle anybody. Believe me, I was high on them going into the season. I thought they had a bunch of injuries last year, and they were going to be, way better on defense. They were worse. I don't even know how they can be worse. They were worse. And the fucking Eagles will trounce them because the Eagles want to win a Super Bowl for Carson Wentz. Yeah, everybody else fucking won one already, but they want to get fucking bad ACL Wentz a fucking title, and they want him to be the guy to stand down there. So they're still a little bit hungry. It's like a fake Super Bowl almost. So, yeah, give me Philly as a lock. All right. So, that's the end of my locks. It's the end of my leans. I already mentioned who my sucker bet was going to be, but the market really jumped on that one already. So, here's my dog, right? Seattle. I'm not throwing money on it, but if I have to pick a dog to win outright this week at a decent value, I think it's Seattle. Because if Pittsburgh is as fucking hot trash as they looked against New England, Seattle could pull this one out. Absolutely. All they got to do is stop Juju, and James Conner looked like garbage. He had a terrible game. Obviously, once you're down by 20 fucking points, you're not going to fucking run the ball, but still, didn't look great when he was. So, Seattle might be a dog you could lay some fucking money on. All right, last one up is the teaser. Dallas, 1.5. I like it. Tease them back up. I know I didn't like them at that number, but if you could get them at Dallas plus 1.5, that's what I would take. Pair that with the Rams. I think the Saints are garbage, And I think that they only scored a ton of points because the Texans defense isn't as fucking good as it used to be. And people thought that it was still, like they were like, oh my God, it's still fucking great. And they scored all these points and Drew Brees is back. No, it's not. No. So we have Dallas plus 1.5. If you can get it right now, it's probably plus a half. We have the Rams plus 3.5. And the last one we're going to go with on the teaser is Detroit. Right now, it's 1.5. I got it a little bit earlier, but I still like 1.5 plus 6. Give you 7.5 right through that touchdown. I love them at home getting 7.5 or 8, whatever you got it at. So we got the Lions plus 7.5. Got the Cowboys plus a half, 1.5, wherever you were at. And then we also have the Rams. The Rams plus 3.5. I think that's a solid fucking teaser. Couple of home teams in there, one road team that should dominate. I like that a lot. Let's get paid. Let's fucking do this. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram at @thatsportsdope. And, hey, it's a fun ride. Let's have a great NFL season.